All right, welcome to chapter 7. I'm going to try and get through this one too. All right, chapter 7, this breakdown, rewiring the brain. Okay, chapter 7 dives deeper into the neuroscience behind trading behavior. We're going to talk about the brain a little bit. This part I'm kind of excited about. My wife's a behavior analyst, and I'm telling you, a lot of this stuff applies directly to day trading, I promise you. Okay, Hougaard explains that the brain is a prediction engine, always trying to minimize pain and maximize comfort. Okay, moving your stop to break even, taking profits too early, that's seeking comfort. Okay, you're minimizing pain when you do that, right? Not closing a position, right? It's coming to your stop loss and you move your stop loss further away because you want to dodge the pain that's coming of getting that stop loss hit. Okay, still happens to me sometimes. Like I don't move my stop anymore, but I feel it. I'm like, oh man, let's go hit my stop. Bang. All right, hit my stop. But at least I don't move it anymore. But if you're prone to moving your stops out and you take huge losses, you're trying to minimize your pain. You got to be willing to be uncomfortable and accept some pain. All right, so unfortunately, the brain's default settings are hardwired for immediate gratification and not long-term growth or rational decision making. That's just not our hardwiring. So Hougaard introduces the concept of neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to change and form new neural pathways through repetition and reinforcement. Okay. I still got crop drop going. All right. So this is really important. One thing I started to do is I started to give myself, in a sense, like a mental high five when I did something that I knew was the right thing to do. Not moving my stop and letting it get hit. I'd be like, good job, bro. You left a stop there. That was the logical place to get out. That was the proof that your concept was wrong and this trade did not play out. Good job not moving it. High five. Seriously. That made a huge difference. Giving myself the reinforcement for the things that I know are good habits. Okay? So we can create new neural pathways in our brain. Okay? This means that poor trading habits are not permanent. All right? That right there should be really encouraging. It's encouraging to me to know that. It's encouraging to me to know that I can retrain myself in some of these areas that I'm having issues. Okay? They can be unlearned and replaced, but it also means that bad habits get reinforced every time you repeat them. So if you know you do something specific wrong all the time, like all the time, you know that there's a lot of reinforcement going on there. And here's the thing, okay? I've done my trades that were FOMO trades and they worked out. Problem is, there's a lot. You get a big W, there's a lot of reinforcement. So I just reinforce the bad behavior. That's not good. I need to journal the right way and say, bro, you should have never, ever taken that trade. Yes, you won, but you got lucky. You gambled. That was not a good trade. No. Shame on you. Don't do that. And have that talk with yourself, right? Because maybe I FOMO in on trades and I FOMO in and I get 36% in the green and the rest I get wrecked on. Well, that's going to kill my close percentage, right? So figure that out. Talk to yourself about it. But the great news is they can be unlearned and replaced. Okay, but that means we need to take the bad habits and get reinforced, it also means that bad habits get reinforced every time you repeat them. So don't repeat them anymore. Get rid of them. Slowly get rid of them. All right, Hougaard introduces the concept of neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to change and form new neural pathways through repetition and reinforcement. This means that poor trading habits are not permanent. It's my favorite statement. That's why I read it again. Okay? Not permanent. He encourages traders to actively rewire their brains by creating new routines using visualization techniques and journaling emotional responses. This is what nobody wants to do. I've mentored quite a few people. Nobody wants to do this. Nobody wants to journal and talk about their emotional responses because you're looking your flaws in the face. You're looking your greed in the face. You're looking your fear in the face. It's not fun. I'm telling you, it's not fun. Okay? Take the time to do this. I'm telling you. All right. By consistently repeating disciplined actions, traders can train their brains to value long-term consistency over short-term comfort. Okay? You can do this. You can actually train your brain to do this. Okay? And that's where Jared Tendler's book comes in. That's the next one I'm doing, because I've been through that one 3 times too. 3 or 4. I think some chapters like 4 or 5, actually. All right, Hougaard emphasizes the key is not motivation. It's repetition. Okay? I'm a highly motivated person. But what this takes, it's repetition. Okay? If I FOMO trade, 50 trades a week, which would be crazy, be like some crazy scalper, and then I don't FOMO trade 10 trades a week, which behavior do you think is going to be more reinforced? You got it. Okay? You need the repetition of the right behavior. And that's what we need to do. We need to create a plan that does that, right? Visualization techniques. One of the things I do, I don't remember which book I read this from. It's probably his, but I've read quite a few other books. When I put on a trade, I visualize the loss and I accept it. And then I visualize the win and I accept it. 2 things. I don't get over emotional when I lose that trade. The other thing, I don't get over emotional when I win that trade. Because sometimes when you win, and you win 2 or 3, you start to feel invincible. You get emotional. You're like, yeah, check me out. I can call this market. Start taking more trades, start over trading, get burned. Okay. So the visualization, it keeps me kind of calm, like I got, usually I risk between probably like 250 and 500 trade. So when I put that 250 on as a stop loss, I accept it. Like I look at it and I go, I can accept $250 loss and be wrong. Once I'm wrong, I'll reassess the market. If we're still at my zone and we're still at my time-based liquidity, maybe I'll take another trade. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I went long, we're going short. And if I get a nice, clean, short setup from my time-based liquidity, that is a part of my strategy, I'll take it. Okay, but yet again, I put that stop up at the top, another $250. I'm willing to let it go. Okay, but that took a while. That was not easy. So study guide. Let's talk about the study guide and how we can apply this, right? Self-reflection prompts. I'm telling you this kind of stuff. Everyone's going to... Dude, nobody wants to talk about the psychology of day trading. I'm telling you. But this is where it's at, man. You go talk to day traders that are on the floor that do this for a living. They're like, yep, it's all in your head. All right. What unhelpful patterns do I repeat despite knowing better? Despise. That's right. Despise those patterns of the unhelpful ones. But what unhelpful patterns do I repeat despite knowing better? Right? Which ones are they? Figure it out. Talk to yourself about it. And then start to work on reinforcing yourself not doing them. Okay. Have I created a structure for retraining my brain? Create it. I don't care if you get a little chart like you're in kindergarten. You put little gold stars up. Boop, boop, boop. Good job. You didn't FOMO. Gold star. Take it. I'm not joking. I'm not kidding. Do it. Get a little thing on your, desk that you hit and it goes, good job. Like a little button that makes a noise or, something that anything. Reach back and pat yourself on the back. Give yourself a high. I'm not kidding. There's a reason why kindergarten teachers use these things. They work for training your brain. And just because you're an adult, you don't think it's not going to work. It's going to work. I promise you. Okay. I've done a little something like that. Okay. Figure out a structure that you're going to retrain your brain. And I would make it fun. Now I kind of have a goofy personality. I'm sure I seem very droll on these videos, but, like I have like a little lucky block thing that, I would slap and it makes a noise. Okay. It's silly. It's kind of funny to share that, but it works. Okay. What actions can I repeat daily to reinforce discipline? Okay. You need to, if you know what you're doing that's not working and you know what you need to stop, well, what's the opposite behavior? Right? Figure that out. And then how do you make a reinforcement? How do you train yourself that that's a good thing? Good job. You didn't move your stop. Like, make a big thing out of it. Like, dude, I'm going to get me a chocolate chip cookie. I took my stop loss where I put it originally instead of dragging it out to lose 2 to 3 times as much. Okay, I've looked at trade journals, guys. I've seriously looked at it and been like, what happened here? Why was this such a big stop loss? What were you targeting? Was this like a swing trade? No, it was a scalp. But you risked like $1,100. Well, original risk was $250 or $300. All right, I know what happened. And I can show you my journal where I've done the same thing. So no judgment. But let's talk about it, right? But what actions can you repeat daily to reinforce discipline? Figure those out. Get your actions set up that you know what you can do, right? All right, so here we go. Use repetition to rewire. Trade with a small size. This helps to get rid of emotion. Okay, a lot of people are like, oh, paper trade in practice. Listen, if you can't afford a $50 combine and go trade one mini, right? You shouldn't blow an account. I mean, you should get like 50 or 100 trades before you blow an account trading one mini. Or I'm sorry, one micro. And then you can get high consistency to reprogram your behavior, okay? But trading with a small size, it does help with your psychology, okay? Because you're not freaking out over $50 loss, okay? Replace bad habits. This is, okay, coming from a husband married to a behavior analyst, you have to replace the bad behavior. You can't just stop a bad behavior. Replace it, okay? So identify one bad habit and install a positive reinforcement, okay? Which means you get something, right? So I'm going to stop FOMO trading. And if I miss my entry, I let it go. I don't enter. Let me say that again. If you have a problem FOMOing, fear of missing out, and you miss a trade and it just continues because you didn't get the retracement of the fair value gap you wanted or whatever it is, let it go. Okay? Okay. So you need to install a positive behavior, which the positive behavior would be letting it go. So when you do let it go, make a big deal out of it. Get your little chart. Gold star. Good job, me. Okay? I mean, people are going to be like, really? A chart? Like, yeah. It could just be a Discord thing, right? Where you put a gold star in a Discord chat to yourself. Like, good job. You start collecting gold stars, right? Okay. Visualize the right behavior. Spend 5 minutes visualizing a calm, rule-based session before each trade. This is huge. Seriously. Because then your mind's prepared for it. It's like you've been there, done that already. And you haven't even started. This is huge. Like I said, when I open a trade, I visualize the loss, I visualize the win, and I'm good with either. Now, of course, I want the win, right? But I don't want to be overexcited about the win because then guess what? Now I just might start over trading because I'm excited to make money. Let's go. Nah. All right. You hopefully you guys get what I'm saying. All right. Leverage neuroplasticity. Okay. Keep a habit tracker. All right. I used to use Habitica a lot, which is like a little gaming habit tracker where when I would not FOMO, I could, click a little button and my little guy gets a little upgrade and I get some points, recover some life. Okay. If I FOMO trade, then I click a little button. It's like, and then my dude takes some damage and, doesn't get the upgrade. All right. It was a gaming habit tracker called Habitica. It was just fun. Right. Like I said, I kind of got a goofy personality that fit well with me. Some people are just going to be completely internalized in their brain and just to be able to tell themselves, good job, bad job. And that's going to be enough. Okay. Anyway, whatever you do, as long as you do something, right, that works for you, that's all that matters. It could just be, a little tick chart, next to you, where you have like, you just do a little dash 1, 2, 3, 4 /5, and you just keep track of it, good and bad. That's all you would need. Because then you can look at it at the end of the week and be like, man, I really kind of did this behavior, over here too much. And then you can go look at your trades and be like, would I have been profitable? I've had those meetings with people and let's look at your trades. Where's your FOMO trades? These 6 trades this week were FOMO. Remove them. Run the data. Would have been profitable. Plus, I've done that on my own. Seriously, if I'd done that on my own, I don't even want to tell you how much my trading would be worth. It'd be crazy. But I know you can't be perfect, right? I never expect perfection from myself. All right. So journal to reinforce learning. Write a summary of each trading day, focusing on decisions, not results. This is huge, huge. People don't get this. They like half the time I get like this spreadsheet just filled with data, and I'm like, okay, great. Okay, was this trade your strategy? No. Was this trade your strategy? No. What about this trade? Yeah. What about this one? No. This one? No. Okay. What am I looking at here then? This shows me nothing of your strategy. One, we have to remove those trades to see how your strategy would actually work out. And, that's why you need to have a summary focusing on your decisions. Why did you make those decisions? Were they logical, strategy-based? Good job. Were they FOMO and emotional? Not so good job. And I mean, I feel like I'm able to talk about this so much because I still deal with it. I am not beyond it. I'm still in it. But I've got my head above water where I can actually take a breath, All right. Cough drop. They help so much, especially with the talking. All right. Action steps for you this week and for me. Don't think I'm not doing this stuff. Pick one trading rule and hardwire. Follow it each day, no matter what. Okay. For example, I only trade after 9:30. It's kind of a hard rule. Very rarely will I take something before. Okay. Well, there you go. That's an easy one. If I trade before 9:30, shame on me because of my strategy. Now, I do have strategies that work outside of that. And if I take those, that's fine. That's why I said, sometimes I do, but it's pretty rare because I'm very successful within that, really the opening hour. Some people call it silver bullet, but I mean, I'll trade it, 9:35. Doesn't matter. All right. Track your success at that rule with a daily check mark. Just keep track of it. Daily star. Give yourself a star. All right. Visualize yourself following that rule before each session. I'm telling you, the visualization stuff is huge. Okay. At the end of the week, you need to assess, did my actions shape my new pattern? Okay. At the end of the week, was I doing what I planned on doing, or did I drop it and forget about it? Okay. Think about that. Just assess at the end of the week and be like, and if it was like a 50-50, that's an improvement, right? Don't underestimate improvements. Seriously, don't underestimate improvements. If you take 10 FOMO trades a week and you took 2 less, and the next week you took 4 less, the next week you took 6 less, and the next week you took 4 because you had a bad week, and then the next week you took 5 less, and then 7 less, right? I'm just saying, like, kind of making that up, but you get what I'm saying. Progress is progress, right? And it's going to be a constant thing, right? These 7-figure traders that I'm connected to, none of them are like, yeah, I've got it. I just sit down, make money, print. I'm bored. Well, sometimes they say they're bored, which I understand, but yeah, they still deal with this stuff. It's just they've really rewired their brains. So they're like, I don't want to FOMO in. It's like their brain's like, I'm not FOMOing. FOMO hurts. I'm not doing FOMO. The rest of us are like, but bro, you're going to miss out. Take the trade. You know where it's going. You know it's going to that liquidity. Take the trade. Nah. Just, no, I'm not FOMOing. FOMO's bad. There's a different process going on, right? Okay, so final quote from Tom. Neuroplasticity is real. You are not stuck. You are just not repeating the right thing yet. Okay, so figure out the right things and then just work on repeating and repeating and repeating and giving yourself gold stars, rewarding yourself with cookies, pat on the back. I'm serious. That's how you do it. Get out your little kindergartner chart or your chart and go to town with your behavior. Get a little red card, green card, yellow card, orange card. I mean, dude, is it worth it? You know, like people I talk to, have done stuff like that. Usually it's not like they usually don't share it publicly, but there's usually some kind of reinforcement thing going on. Okay, so there's some kind of behavioral training going on behind the scenes. And even if you just call up a friend, a lot of times I call my friend, hey, bro. And I hate it too. I'm like, man, I don't want to tell him. I just did good for a whole month. And then I just blew like $1,100 out of an account for no reason. I have to tell him that. He's never mad at me, but yet I feel that like, oh, that's because I don't like being wrong. I like being right. But even more than that, I'm learning to like being profitable and honest and open, right? And that is what's leading me into success, not being right. Actually, being able to be wrong, being the best loser is really where it's at. So thank you again, Tom. You're amazing. We really appreciate your book. If you guys don't have it, I mean, what are we in, chapter 7 or something? If you don't have it by now, go buy it. I mean, I usually don't tell people buy stuff, but this book, go get it. I'm telling you, you're going to need it. If you're going to do this for a living and you're serious and, you want to make an impact in your life, I think you're going to need this. So anyways, share this out. Of course, it does help my little baby channel. I really don't care all that much, but what I really want to do is get this out to people that it would help. Get this out to people that are able to, relate to this, learn from it, and apply it to their day trading and help them to be more successful. Because this is a hard business. We got to stick together. So anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.